Brandon Paul here reporting from the Portland Expo in Portland, Maine. I'm here with Maine Red Claws' new head coach, Mike Taylor. Mike, you've coached at many different levels, overseas, the D-League. What made you choose Maine? What made you feel like this was the place you wanted to be at?
Well, I think Brandon, the answer is twofold. The first thing is the Red Claws organization. It's a special place. It's a real minor league town here in Portland. The fans do a great job supporting the team. The organization is run by quality people. So I think the Red Claws organization is the first part. And the second part is the support from the Boston Celtics. I think with the Celtics, taking over the basketball operations, it's a fantastic position for a coach and for players to learn, to grow, to develop, and to have a good experience in the D-League.
How does that help you as a coach? Obviously, you have the resources of the assignees, the affiliated players like Micah Downs. How else do you think that affiliation is going to help the Maine Red Claws this season?
Well, Brandon, the first thing is, like you said, the affiliation with the players. And for example, right now, Micah Downs spent the preseason with the Celtics. And, we expect a few players to be assigned throughout the year from the Celtics. I think that's the first part. But the second part is, myself and our assistant, J.P. Clark, we spent the entire preseason with the Celtics learning, talking basketball, observing, being a part of the Celtics preseason. And I think when you're around such great coaches who are also great people that give you that support, it makes to be a fantastic place.
I've always considered the head coaching job in the D-League as one of the toughest in professional sports. You didn't know your roster until, a week ago? And how do you adjust to that as a coach? You've been involved in the D-League before, but as a head coach, how tough is that to adjust to not knowing your roster until 2 weeks before the start of your regular season?
Well, definitely that's part of it. To be in the D-League, you have to be able to adjust to the D-League style, which means constant turnover of your roster, and you've got to find a way to be consistent with what you're doing. In our situation, we'll implement the Celtic system, the Celtic identity, and what we've got to do is work within the Celtic framework. For example, the offensive system, the defensive system. The defensive system will stay basically the same. We'll have the same principles, the same concepts as the Celtics will on the defensive end. But on the offensive side, within the Celtics framework, their terminology, their plays, their offense and their concepts, what we'll do is we'll try to tailor the offense a little bit towards our personnel. So you've got to work within the Celtic framework, the Celtic structure, but you've got to try to find out what works best for your team with your players.
Is there also going to be some cases where you guys test stuff out for them, not only you using their system, but you guys testing out systems that they may want to adapt up in the NBA?
Yeah, I think that's possible. At this point, it's basically the first step is to establish the culture, establish the identity of, this is the minor league franchise, the minor league organization for the Celtics. I think into the future, that's definitely a possibility. At this point, it's basically the first step of establishing that culture and identity, and I'm sure it can be used as an experimental model in some areas into the future.
And you have been down in Boston. Have you had the chance to work with guys like Fab Melo and Chris Joseph that you're most likely going to see here in Maine this season?
Yes, and I think the Celtics organization has made a couple really good moves that maybe not too many people are talking about. The first thing, obviously, Austin Ainge has coached this team before, and he'll be kind of the point man on all of our movement and personnel decisions and moves. So with his understanding of both the Celtics situation and the Red Claw situation, that's a real key for us. The second thing is Dave Lewin came in from the Cavs and the Canton Charge, and he'll work closely with Austin, and he's an excellent D-League guy, personnel-wise. And the third part is the new assistant coach for the Celtic staff, Jay Larinaga. Jay is kind of he's a connector between the Celtics staff and our team. So what Jay will do is work closely with those players, for example, a Fab Melo that has the potential to go back and forth. And I think when you look at these three people with great D-League experience, not only is the organization really connected well, but I think the front office and the basketball operations has excellent D-League experience. So I think we're in a very good position to be successful this year.
All right, folks, you heard it from Maine Red Claws head coach Mike Taylor, reporting live from the Portland Expo for CLNSradio.com. This is Brandon Paul.